Welcome back to the Skift Daily Briefing. It's Thursday, June 18th. I'm Sarah Dandashi, and today, Europe just handed airlines a major defeat on passenger rights after 13 years of lobbying. July 4th travel is hitting a record, but barely, and only because of cruises. And AI is sending more travelers to travel sites, except it often can't actually read airline fares. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, first up, European airlines spent 13 years lobbying to water down passenger right rules. This week, the EU gave their answer no. The core protections stay intact. If your flight arrives more than 3 hours late in Europe, you're still entitled to compensation between 250 and 600 euros, depending on how far you're flying. Now, airlines had pushed hard to raise that threshold, arguing that it would give them more flexibility to recover disrupted operations. But regulators didn't budge. The one battle airlines did partially win was on carry-on bags. The EU stopped short of requiring every airline to include a large cabin bag for free, partly because a standard Boeing 737 simply can't fit bags for all 189 passengers. So instead, airlines must now display fares that include a cabin bag allowance up front so travelers can compare prices fairly. Of course, Ryanair called this gobbledygook. O'Leary's argument: most of his passengers don't want a second bag, and forcing airlines to advertise the price that includes one is misleading. IATA estimates EU 261 already cost the airline industry 8 billion euros a year. Now, the new rules don't change that math. After this loss, IATA announced it's hiring 15 new Brussels lobbyists. They're not giving up, they're just regrouping. So next up, 72 million Americans are expected to travel for July 4th, a slim record of just 0.5% above last year. Now, the headlines sound great, but the details are a little bit more complicated. Strip out cruises and growth nearly evaporates. Alaska cruise ports are among the top July 4th destinations this year, with Seattle topping the domestic list. Cruises overall are up more than 5% for the holiday. Car and air travel? Well, it's essentially flat. Gas is up 27% from last year at $4.03 a gallon. Round-trip domestic flights are averaging around $830. Car rentals are up 10%. So this K-shaped story continues. Lower-income Americans are cutting back. More than a third of non-travelers say they simply can't afford a trip this year. Meanwhile, higher earners are spending more than ever. The record number is real, but it's being carried by the top of the market and by cruises. And honestly, everyone else is feeling the squeeze. And finally, new Adobe research shows AI is sending nearly twice as much traffic to U.S. travel sites compared to last year. And those visitors are actually more engaged, staying 70% longer and bouncing 41% less than people coming from other sources. But here's the catch airlines need to pay attention to. AI systems often can't actually read airline fares. Most airline pricing is loaded through JavaScript, a technical approach that many AI crawlers simply can't process. Now, that means when someone asks an AI assistant to find a flight, the airline's own fares may be effectively invisible. OTAs, which publish fares in a more machine-readable format, so to speak, have a significant advantage here. Adobe found hotel and car rental pages score around 70% readability for AI systems. Airlines trail across every page type. So in a world where AI is fast becoming the first stop for travel discovery, the brands that machines can't read are the ones that won't get recommended. In a nutshell, being visible to AI search is becoming as important as being visible to Google. And right now, airlines are losing that race. Well, that's it for your Skift Daily Briefing. For more industry news, head to skift.com. And as always, subscribe at skift.com/daily. Thanks so much for listening.